So I would just like to point out that this is the biggest pain in the ass to find without settling for 380p. Yes, that is actually what it says. Cause for some reason Hulu thinks a 10-year-old show belongs in a live TV section only. Why? Alright, you know what, whatever. Fuck you Hulu, we're moving on. Billy and Mandy's Jacked Up Halloween. The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy was one of the most unique shows to pop up on Cartoon Network's lineup in the early 2000s, focusing on two kids and their forced best friend, the Grim Reaper, going on comedic horror adventures. Granted, a lot of shows had at least a bit of an edge to them, with some of them being pretty creepy. Billy and Mandy, however, focuses almost entirely on as dark as humor as it could have while still being a kids show. Almost rarely is the solution in the show to do the right thing. Hell, usually doing the right thing in the show gets you screwed over, while following advice like this,
"It means you should be angry at them! How dare they be different!"
actually ends up being the right solution. It was a special type of mean-spirited comedy that just not a lot of shows these days really tend to nail. So, without further ado, let's jump into one of the best Halloween specials of all time from one of the best cartoons of all time. This is Billy and Mandy's Jacked Up Halloween. We begin with Billy, played by Richard Stephen Horvitz,
I am Zim!
sitting down watching incredibly child-friendly material. I love this show. Anyway, Grim and Mandy, played by Greg Eagles and Grey DeLisle respectively, show up to tell Billy that it's Halloween night, to which Billy gets dressed and borrows Grim's scythe for his costume. It's at this point I should point out that the scythe literally has all the powers of the underworld in it, has been taken by 20 plus characters over the course of the show, and that Billy has a canon IQ of -5, so one can only wonder the result. Our heroes find themselves looking for Erwin, Billy's friend and Mandy's full-time simp. He's caught up in a subplot of trying to find a scary costume. It's not going very well. By the way, this episode is going to have a lot of Erwin abuse. If you feel this is unwarranted, keep in mind that the only time this character got any sort of power, he screwed over Billy and Grim while making Mandy into his weird love puppet. And this is literally his room. If the universe is cruel to him, he's at least semi-got it coming to him. Anyway, they go off trick-or-treating with their first house being owned by...
Well?
Okay, just have him out then, I guess. Sure, why not? I mean, I realize she's wearing a shirt, but they're just right there. Why are they so noticeable? Alright, whatever. She's being a bitch, she gets her comeuppance, moving on. Enjoying the spoils of the trick, Grim tells an old story. And the only reason I'm not playing this amazing backstory in its entirety is because YouTube and copyright suck. Necessary, but they suck. So if you can't manage to find this special somewhere, well, first, I can't believe you've actually been watching this review instead of watching the special first. Shame on you. And, at the very least, try to watch this part in the damn special. That said, on to the backstory. Billy asks why tricks are done on Halloween, and Grim proceeds to tell him the story of how it all started in Ennsville, because this place is Back to the Future's Hill Valley. Everything happens in Ennsville. Many years ago, there was a villager by the name of Jack. To make a long story short, dude liked to pull pranks and he was kind of a psychopath. So much so that they decide they're sick of him. They send a prank to a nearby queen of Ennsville, and the rest is history. Ah damn, this show is metal for its time. So it was Jack's time and Grim came to take him. Unfortunately, Grim sucks at his job and Jack managed to get his scythe, which he wouldn't give back unless he got eternal life. Grim agreed, but Jack didn't really read the fine print. Because he couldn't just go walking around as a pumpkin-headed freak. Actually, considering the fact that Grim walks around just fine, he probably could, but whatever, special got a special. Jack spent hundreds of years locked up in his house, only coming out on Halloween night to pull pranks on the people of Ennsville. And while I probably make this story sound pretty lame since I don't know how to narrate, trust me, I cannot understate what a fantastic Halloween story it is. And the best way to follow it up? Billy being terrified by Erwin dressed as a turtle. You know, it's moments like this that reminds me that this show was supposed to continue as Underfist, but never did because Cartoon Network's president at the time, Stuart Snyder, chose to focus on live action shows instead of cartoons. On Cartoon Network, which made the creator of this show, Maxwell Adams, the creator of Kids Next Door, Mr. Warburton, and the creator of Powerpuff Girls and Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, Mr. McCracken, to leave. But at least we got that show Destroy Built Destroy out of the deal, am I right? Oh, please bring this show back, I fucking miss it. You guys are already doing Animaniacs, just fucking do it. Back to the special, the gang splits up and Billy manages to find the old house of Jack still untouched by time, which Billy has no idea about. Like I said, -5. Jack, played by, holy shit, Wayne Knight?
See, nobody cares. Nice hat.
Damn, they were trying to end Grim and Evil with a bang. Anyway, Jack, having known Billy for 5 seconds, tells him to piss off, and Billy lets it slip that he has to side for the guy who chopped his head off. One quick and pointless cut to Grim and Mandy later, we see that Jack has apparently been planning this for a while. He immediately takes Billy to a pumpkin patch where he spouts his plan to... know what? I'm not gonna be able to say this better than Wayne Knight.
Be free, spirits of the underworld! Take these pumpkins for bodies and live again! The sun will never rise again, and it will be Halloween every night! Forever!
This horrific plan to bring the dead back as pumpkin freaks is brought to you by Boomerang, apparently. God damn, no wonder this is one of the best known episodes of Billy and Mandy. That and a pretty decent Flash game, but mostly the special. Jack steals every scene he's in and gets right down to business in taking over. None of that Boogeyman's overblown plan of BS, great movie though. Jack has literally had to fight for about 10 minutes and he's already taken both the town and Grim. Oh, and Erwin is now a banana. And now Bo Peep. Neat. Back to the plot, Jack explains his grievances with being stuck at home 364 days a year with plans to cut off Grim's head in return. Billy, in a rare moment of logic, actually seems to notice a hole in that plan.
Grim's head is removable. Observe.
Observe? Okay, there's a meme in there somewhere, I can feel it. Anyway, Jack explains that any head that's cut off by the Reaper's scythe stays off for good. And while Billy is wisely running like hell to find Mandy so she could fix this by going all Rambo, something apparently she's been waiting all night to do, can't blame her, I must ask, did Jack just try to put his freshly cut head on his body to know that, or what? Anyway, Billy distracts Jack with his butt while Mandy sets the traps, because that magic formula of hiding a horrific thought with something funny or stupid never fails. A few seconds of prank setup and butt shaking later, Jack lets us know that you can't pull a fast one on an expert. Which, god damn, it is rare to see Mandy actually lose for once. Luckily before
Decapitation!
an old nightmare of Jack shows up, only to be revealed to be Erwin. Hooray for connecting B-plots? Even more luckily though, his dumbass falling into every prank manages to pull a page out of the Who Framed Roger Rabbit school of victories. With all his minions taken out, Jack is sent unambiguously straight to hell. The day is saved, Billy makes his second great point of the episode.
If you didn't loan me the site in the first place, this kind of thing would never happen.
And the Jack story in a way comes full circle. And that was Billy and Mandy's Jacked Up Halloween. Shit, that still holds up great. Billy and Mandy is one of those shows that just nails it with the dark tone and comedic timing, and this is one of the best gems. Jack is a great villain, his backstory is honestly a great short story with a nice lesson of don't overdo something, and most of the jokes land decently. This was actually the last episode of the Grim and Evil show before they officially split into the Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy and Evil Carne, so they really nailed it. Though part of me can't help but wonder why the guy whose job it is to take out evil spirits didn't show up. Meh, probably busy with errors or something. Till next time, I highly recommend you watch this amazing special on your own. Take it easy, stay safe out there, and ask me questions, you wankers.